This is Jordan. This video is being recorded on the very late evening of Sunday, February 4th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, going to talk about the outlook for gold and silver over the coming week, maybe a little bit beyond that. Just going to focus on gold and silver here, not talk about the miners. Don't see anything interesting there on the miners with respect to, there are the breadth indicators at extreme levels. They're not that interesting to me right now, just for this video update. So going to focus on gold and silver. Okay. Daily bar charts, gold here, silver down here. And I'm a little bit concerned that there will be some selling here, and that there is a threat that if you see gold break 2,000, then maybe it comes down here to, I don't know, could be, 1920, maybe 1900. Long-term moving averages, you'll see in the next slide, they're right around here. So this is something to keep an eye on. This support at 2,000 and this support right here for silver right at 22. Look how many bounces silver's had. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was a failed breakdown. You see that a lot in these markets. Obviously the possibilities are it bounces along here, it holds and rebounds again. Maybe it can come up here or like this, and then it falls back down here. So we'll have a better look in the weekly chart, but this would be, 20, maybe a little bit above 20, but that's the next support level if this goes. And looking at the COTs, they're not. There is room for more selling, but I do think if we get a breakdown below these support levels, that you're looking at probably putting in what could be a significant low, before the end of winter. So that's something to think about. Weekly charts here, and so you can see the 2,000 support here. That if gold were to make a weekly close below 2,000, it's probably going to lose this, which is equivalent to the 200-day. And then you have these very long-term moving averages here in the upper 1800s. So keep that in mind. Same thing with silver right here. You can see it 22, 1, 2, 3. Again, all these bounces here. So I would not be surprised to see a move like this down here, move below here. But then again, that doesn't mean you want to be a seller or you want to be shorting yet, because you have to be careful because gold is so close to 2,100. Gold was up here going into that jobs report. If that was a really bad jobs report, gold could have taken out 2,100. And you have the recent bank failure, which was pretty significant. So just pointing out that if gold and silver were to break below these levels, you come down here. I think you put in a significant low here. And the sentiment indicators, looking at the COTs, the net spec position in gold has come down a good amount already. The open interest in gold is really, really low. I'll do a video on that this week. Yeah, I think that's one scenario here for the end of winter is you get some more selling, but then you put in what could be a really significant low. Okay, last thing here. Let's talk about gold and gold against the S&P 500. Obviously, I've done way too many videos on this, but look, it's such an important topic for precious metals. And so I was thinking, gold's technicals in a vac are so good. This cup, this handle, this is super bullish. This is super bullish setup here. But gold against the S&P 500 is absolute shit. So I wanted to go back and let me pick out the other times when gold has been really close to a significant breakout, but gold against the stock market was shit. So there's two other times really. So this would be the third time. You have this time here in the mid-90s. And wow, this was absolute shit. And we're not going to see this outcome because gold in real terms, aside from the stock market, but if we're looking at gold against foreign currencies, And those types of relations, they're completely different from this setup here. I have talked about this, the 2018-2019 setup, the last setup leading to a significant breakout. This is interesting here. I mean, this was right before the last sell-off. We can see where, look at gold against the S&P. I mean, this was, this is the beginning of 2018. This was at like a 10, 11-year low right here. And yes, there was one more sell-off, but that's because the Fed kept hiking. They kept hiking. And so even at this point, I mean, this was, I think, another 18 months after this when gold had that huge breakout. But, it's to point out, it was another 18 months until the Fed cut rates. So this does not automatically mean that, it's going to be another 18 months before gold breaks out. It doesn't mean that. But this is just one example that gold against the S&P, 11-year low, looked like shit, lower lows. And still after, there's one more sell-off. And then, gold was up 85% the next 2 years. So, and here we are right now. And so, yeah, by the way, so this was January, and then gold bottomed in August. So that was 7 months after this. So I'm not saying gold is going to sell off for another 7 months, but I'm just giving you an idea of the history. So yes, this is an issue here, 0.41. This is 0.37. So I do think this is going to come down. And look, even if it goes below here, that's not the end of the world. I mean, this was awful right here in 2018, and look what happened. Again, gold bottoms, it goes up 80% in 2 years. So, and I do think this year, we're coming to a significant low in gold against the S&P. It could be similar to this right here, or what we saw in 1969, 1970. I mean, looking at precious metals divided by the stock market, I mean, and just how they've been performing, there's a lot of similarities between the end of the 60s and where we are here today. I mean, I've done 1 or 2 videos on that. But, I mean, that's it for this video. I just wanted to look at when gold against the S&P, was at 52-week lows, trending down, and yet gold in nominal terms was so beautiful and close to a breakout. I mean, this is the most bullish setup here. This is way more bullish than this and this, because this is in the middle of a long-term downtrend. I mean, this is way off. This is negative long-term momentum here. And even this, I mean, you had some negative long-term momentum and it stabilized, but you're still coming, I mean, you're coming off a bad cyclical bear market versus this right here. This is following this 80% move. And it's part of a larger super bullish cup and handle. So I know I'm getting off track here, but those are the insights for today in the gold against S&P 500 ratio. Let me know what you think in the comments, and talk to you guys again in the next video. Hope everybody has a great week.